Hello, YouTube. This is the Galley La Podcast, and long time no talk. We're sorry about the hiatus, but I'm Akainu Fanboy. The other guy is Geboss. We both had a lot of stuff going on in our lives for the past couple weeks, but
I got hit by two
really
hurricanes.
Yes, he got hit by big hurricanes, and so now, we're really excited to come back. Sorry for the delay, and thank you for your patience. And we thought we would start it off with an SPS review.
Yes, because a lot of interesting stuff has come out in the latest one from 110, specifically about the Admirals.
It was written for me.
It really was. But yeah, I think the main one that you wanted, or the first one you wanted to focus on, was the one about Kizaru. Because I think your theory was validated with this.
Yeah, I was a true believer in this for the whole time.
Yeah.
I know you still held it as a probable theory. Jimper thought it was Von Augur that gave Luffy the food this entire time. So that needs to be held down into the record.
Yeah.
And he was like a huge critic, laughing and thought that was Cope, and it was just Admiral Copium. But a lot of people did. Because I remember initially everybody thought it was Kizaru, and then the fight kept on dragging on, and then he shot Vegapunk, and they're like, "Oh wait, it can't be Kizaru now," basically, because this happened. But then I explained Unclear Justice, and that this goes back with Kizaru. He just goes back and forth, and I think in the context where he shot Vegapunk too, he had already been impaled by Saturn as well, So he was probably going to die anyways at that point, It was close to being over, So,
yeah.
But at the same time, Sentomaru and Bonnie got out of there.
Yeah. I mean, Oda doesn't come right out and say that it was Kizaru, but he's like, they had to have been moving at the speed of light to have done that. And it's like, okay, you're being your coy self, Oda.
And he said Frankie, Sentomaru, Sanji, and Kizaru, and Sanji was frozen, Frankie was frozen, and then Frankie and Sentomaru can't move at the speed of light.
Yeah. Process of elimination.
And yep, there you go.
But yeah, it does kind of add that extra layer to Kizaru's character, especially this whole arc kind of made me appreciate his character a lot more, because before he was kind of like the derpy the derpy admiral, just kind of goofing around all the time, like not taking things seriously.
Yeah.
But it shows like he does have a certain code that he follows, but I mean, I kind of do want to know why he did it though,
and I think that will not be expounded upon until later in the story, because I think people are irritated, like, why did he reveal this in an SBS and not the story? I don't know if it's either him rushing, or if it's more like thematically he just wants to save it for later down the line, kind of thing, because this was Luffy's moment,
yeah,
and he didn't really want to kind of downplay it, because now immediately I'm not trying to get it right in the power scaling, but this does put a huge asterisk next to this fight now, immediately,
yeah. Kizaru literally had to help Luffy beat him in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he could have just killed him right there.
Yeah. And I
because that's one. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think it does have something to do with. There's a reason why Oda drew the. I think the volume that he answered this on was the one with. Oh no, that was the one before. 109 was the one with Kizaru and everyone dancing on the front cover.
Yeah, exactly.
So, there's a reason why he's drawing attention to that.
Yeah, some people initially thought oh, well, the dancing thing only has to relate to that final chapter. We see him yelling at Akainu. where he seems to have a conversion. But it looks like there was a lot more than that if you connect all these plot points together now, so it shows that he finally solidifies the frustration he was feeling and all the rest. I think it's going to be really fascinating now to watch the anime going forward when it comes back.
Yeah. To
look at this entire fight under the context that Kizaru is actively throwing it away, basically. Well, he's being unclear. He's filling his job position, and he's trying to let the Straw Hats get away with Bonnie.
Yeah, I don't think that he's entirely throwing it. I would kind of equate it to, well, again, this is another like parallel to Sabaody, like we were saying. Like Kuma was the one to get them out of there, but he was back in Thriller Bark. He did fight them, like I think with plenty of strength. Like if he was fighting full strength, he would have taken them out. But he did show, like when he went up against Zoro, he was using his powers pretty much. For the majority of the fight.
And I think if you're actively healing your opponent though, without anybody knowing, I think you're only putting up the front insofar as to put it so you don't get in trouble yourself, basically, and I think he only put in enough effort so Saturn wouldn't think something's completely out, I think that was the only reason why he put in effort in the fight from that point on, because for you to heal your adversary when you can kill him, 100% you're just not fighting seriously at that point, like, and I know this is like, again, coming from a biased source, but like, it's even more aggressive than the Katakuri thing, because Katakuri just wanted to even it out but still fight seriously. Kizaru is like healing Luffy with the hope, which is heavily inferred from the plot itself, for him to get better to escape with his loved ones.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. It's unclear, and I think the reason why Oda's SBS answer is ambiguous is because Kizaru is ambiguous.
Yeah.
But I think at the very least, so for me personally, I still think Kizaru is stronger just because of this whole revelation of like, he could have killed Luffy, but he didn't. And that's it, So, and also,
yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. And the last point is like, I was kind of saying this entire time where when Luffy finally becomes stronger than an admiral or defeats an admiral, Oda will make it clear as day, like he defeated Kaido and Big Mom. Like Luffy defeated, an admiral, right? It's like the narrator voice and everything. It's going to be a huge milestone. And I don't think it happened here because of that. There's just so much weird shit narratively speaking. And I think that's why some people were like saying they're so underwhelmed by Luffy versus Kizaru. It doesn't feel like a cool epic fight. It's because there's a lot of other stuff going on internally and narratively in the story right now. I would say they're roughly about even, or Kizaru has a little bit of an edge. That's just how I see it right now.
Yeah, I would say they're more even. But so you think that when Luffy did his big pizza move, where he slammed Saturn and Kizaru together and flung them off, and Kizaru was just laying on the ship, you think that Kizaru could get back up and get back in the fight, but he chose not to?
I think at that point, especially when I think it gets to the line where it's like, I'm wounded beyond belief or something like that. I'm wounded more than you know, right? When the Marines, there was a second meaning insinuated there.
Yeah. That
his part is broken, and that's why he can't get back up. It wasn't like the physical thing, And again, like once you are actively healing your opponent, I just can't believe like you're going fully all in from there on out. I think if anything, the tendency is you kind of want to throw the fight, if anything, and so I think. And also by that point, I think you could clearly insinuate like, yeah, he's just heartbroken. That's why he can't get back up, because a couple of chapters later, like you see him like break down crying, with Akainu, So I think that's how I would interpret those themes right there.
Yeah, and that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm not like, I'm not saying you're saying this, but I'm not pulling this like out of my ass. Like these are heavily narratively in the story, like laid out for us.
Yeah. No, you're not reaching at all, I think, with this. But it'll be interesting to see, because I think before Egghead, it was a lot clearer. Like when people were kind of like judging like where things were going to end up, like Kizaru was going to always be on the side of the Marines and everything. But this makes it a lot less clear about where his true allegiances lie.
Yeah, it's like unclear justice at the end of the day.
Yeah, but yeah, if we want to get into power scaling, though, we can talk about. I think this was in not in the SBS, but in the latest Viver cards, Akainu's bounty with Cross Guild. If we want to go with bounties being
big news,
being indicators of strength, we got the latest thing that the fleet admirals are worth the equivalent of 5 billion berries, which is like higher than the current Yonko. So so I think this is Oda kind of indicating the level of strength of Akainu, and maybe even like Sengoku in a way, like
because Goku was given Conqueror's Haki too, right? In a previous SBS that was revealed to us.
Yeah, and if we kind of gauge like Garp as an example, if Sengoku is the same level as Garp, because Sengoku held down Garp at Marineford, like he could be just as devastating as Garp,
And Roger said, send somebody strong like Sengoku and Garp.
Yeah,
he may know like really differentiation there.
Yeah, so I thought that was interesting that they did that. But like,
and I guess some people would say like, well, why was Garp like only put at 3 billion or something like that, and I think one way it's like, well, he's older too. There's part of that, and also I think the bounties came out. Did they come out after or before Garp's fight?
I think it was before, but I think with with Garp, he's a vice admiral, so it's he's not worth as much. But I think he would have a special like stipulation, like this is Garp.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. So I thought like all that was like pretty interesting there. I think definitely Oda could tell with the Admiral fans, they were kind of down bad with at least the popular understanding of Egghead, and I think that's why he made that. I think Oda was kind of like, hey, I made it pretty clear to you guys about Kizaru, so I guess I'm gonna have to say this again. Let me reiterate this, and then for Akainu, he gets into this huge ass bounty too, which is more than Shanks too, right?
Yeah, because Shanks is only 4 million something. Like he was the second lowest, because it was Kaido, Big Mom, Shanks, and then Blackbeard.
Yeah. So yeah, he has the. So I guess like Dragon would be the only one that has a bigger bounty theoretically.
Yeah, theoretically, we'll get Dragon's bounty whenever he actually does something.
Yeah. Exactly, and I think so. It's kind of more Akainu hype. So Garp was revealed to have Conqueror's Haki as well.
Yeah.
I think it's. Yeah, so I think it's fair to say now that the Marines do have Conqueror's Haki. And I do not think it's too far to say that Akainu has it. I think that's
I think
high possibility.
I think the anime episodes were really good with Garp versus Kuzan. But
for sure.
Yeah, but what did you think? Did you read the stuff about Fujitora and Ryokugyu's backstory in the SBS?
Yeah, I thought it was interesting how it destroyed like all the Wano talking points that Fuji's from Wano. And I also thought it was interesting to just see how he was in a position of justice and authority. And it makes me think like Fuji's country and that whole issue where he got labeled a war criminal might be as a direct result of him like going against a warlord that hurt his home, basically, which would explain why his passion first thing for the world government was to get rid of the warlords of the sea. That was his first priority, you know?
Yeah. Did they ever say like when the warlords were established? Because if they were established that long ago, it could, that could explain why he doesn't like the warlords. But yeah, I thought his backstory was interesting, and I think it kind of explains like both of them why they're the way they are. Because on Fujitora's hand, well, they both didn't come up through like the academy like all the other Navy, because they got drafted.
Right, yeah.
But with that draft, there isn't like a sense of real like, I guess you could say loyalty or procedure. Like they don't follow the rules strictly, and you can see that in Fujitora a lot with Dressrosa. Like I feel like when he apologized to King Riku at the end, that could be something like he wished he could have done in his own country, you know?
Yeah, so it's like ironic that he has a greater sense of justice than certain Marines, even though he's like a complete newbie.
Yeah.
But I think at the same time he still hates pirates, you know, contrary, you know, like he is, you know, because he was like in a position of authority previously too, you know. So while Green Bull, same thing, he's just kind of a scumbag. I don't think he even has like Akainu's absolute justice. He's more like crooked justice, you know what I mean?
He was involved with like some scandal with a woman in his country, and it's like, I don't know, it kind of makes sense for his character though. Yeah,
he's more of a hypocrite, while Akainu's like more consistent, you know, and like just like believes it, you know, kind of thing. Like Green Bull's kind of like some of those like shitty low tier corrupt Marines we were introduced to in East Blue. Basically, it's that type of morality, you know.
He's would you say he's on the level of Axe Hand Morgan?
He's kind of like there, and I forget the mouse captain.
Nezumi or something like that. I think that means or something.
Yeah, no, that was that's like his immortal tier. I want to put him in like the absolute justice or the dark justice category of Rap Blue tier Akainu.
Yeah. But yeah, I think all this stuff about because we got new Kizaru information, Akainu, Fujitora, Ryokugyu, like they're kind of building up all the admirals with new information leading into this final arc. So I think we're going to see some interesting stuff from them coming up.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was interesting topic to bring up. Yeah, because it's been a while since we've talked.
Agenda.
Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about it.
All right, cool. Well, please like and subscribe to everyone if you have not, and we will talk to you guys soon. We will have our One Piece chapter review of 1130 to 1131 coming out soon. All right, see you guys. Peace.
See ya.